Hey everyone, welcome in to another daily editorial here on the KE Report. We're getting an update from Labrador Gold, traded on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol LAB, and on the OTCQX under the symbol NKOSF. We are chatting again with the president and CEO, Roger Moss. Now, Labrador Gold focused at the Kingsway property in Newfoundland. Company has an ongoing 100,000-meter drill program that they're a little more than halfway through. We'll start off by following up on a news release that came out October 20th. Some drill results from the Big Vein and Big Vein Southwest target. Now the headline number here says about just over 30 grams per ton gold over 1.1 meters. Also includes 99 grams per ton gold over 0.3 meters. That's in hole 190. Now, hole 190, this is approximately 75 meters north of the Discovery outcrop and downhole from hole 177 that intersected the longest interval of gold mineralization. That was 32 meters of a little over 2 grams per ton gold. Roger, give us an understanding here on this big vein target. You continue to hit high grade, sometimes over some narrow widths, but again, you do have that longer intersection and a couple others throughout this drilling. What's Big Vein and Big Vein Southwest shaping up to be in your eyes right now, please?
Thanks, Cory. It's good to be back here to give you another update. And I think you summarized some of those results very well. You know, Big Vein is still shaping up to look pretty good in terms of a gold occurrence or a gold target. The area where the headline numbers came from is up in the northeast. What we see there is lots of high-grade gold over probably about a 200 to 250 meter depth, and it's open at depth. This seems to be a steeply plunging system, and as you mentioned, we have, in addition to the high-grade gold over narrower intervals, we also have several intercepts that are longer intervals but lower grade. So basically, what we're looking at, it seems, is we're looking at a lower grade halo that includes these higher grade intersections, and I think that's borne out here in what we see in this latest news release, in these latest results. So still good there. The one hole that you mentioned, K22-177, with the long intercept about 2 grams over 30 plus meters. That's actually one of the most northeasterly intersections that we've had, and that we're following up on that, obviously, and that's still open again towards the northeast. So lots more work to be done up in the northeast part of Big Vein. Now, if we go down to the southwest, that's almost a 520 meter strike length down to where we're hitting gold in what we've called Big Vein West. And what we see there is this latest result, the 4.5 grams over about 1.5 meters, with a bit under 9 grams over 0.75 meters. That intersection sits between two other intersections that one really high grade, 284 grams a ton over 0.58 meters, and that's the highest grade that we've seen at Big Vein. And that one is the most southwesterly hole that we've drilled at Big Vein. So we've got a nice little zone shaping up there, very high grade. Sure, it's narrow widths, but we've also got some longer intervals enclosing those higher grade intervals. So that's something that we're following up on now as we push further to the southwest.
Well, Roger, it sounds like the project's continuing to grow to the northeast and to the southwest, and you keep pushing things further. Is the plan as you move forward, because you're about 58,000 meters into the 100,000 meters so far, so you still got a lot of drilling to go. Are you going to just keep pushing along the envelope to the northeast and southwest, or do you think you'll start infilling some of those areas between where you've drilled? What is the strategy going to be moving forward as far as some other targets you'd like to chase down?
Well, there are a few things there that we're looking at. Obviously, we want to continue stepping out and seeing how far this mineralization extends in both directions. We have been drilling deeper as well, especially up in the northeast, to target deeper mineralization there. So we have two drills. They're dedicated to Big Vein. We have another two drills on site that are dealing with more regional targets. One is down at Golden Glove, and the other one has just finished up initial drilling up at what we call the CSAMT target. That drill will probably move down to join the other two rigs at Big Vein for now. The CSAMT was a little disappointing. We had some challenges up there, mostly with thick overburden. There's no outcrop, and we were drilling geophysical anomalies. So that was disappointing, and we're going to be rethinking our strategy of drilling those anomalies going forward. And then we've got two targets that we drilled earlier, Midway and Pristine. We'll probably go back to those targets at some point in the future, so they'll be drilled again within that 42,000 meters. And of course, we've got ongoing groundwork generating new targets, and probably year to date, we've probably got, I would guess, another 5 targets that are pretty much drill ready. Some of them are permitted, so we could start drilling those. Really, what we've got is we've got a lot of targets that are ready to be drilled, and we're still doing generative work. For example, we just finished an IP survey between the Midway occurrence, which we drilled earlier this year. We had some good results at Midway, sort of lower grade, but over decent widths, sort of 2.2 grams over, I think it was about 13 meters, and 3 to 4 grams over 6 meters, and that was all really close to surface, like within 40 meters vertical. So what we've done now is we've done this IP survey because the mineralization at Midway is hosted in sulfidized gabbro. So there's quite a bit of sulfide mineralization in that gabbro, and that can be picked up by the chargeability in the IP survey. So we did that survey between Midway and Cracker, which is about 1.5 kilometers of strike length. And Cracker is a similar type of gold occurrence as Midway. We haven't done much with it, but historical results show that there's significant gold mineralization associated with quartz veins in gabbro. So the idea there is to test that 1.5 kilometer stretch between Midway and Cracker and see if we can develop more near surface gold mineralization over that trend.
So Roger, how are you going about prioritizing this pipeline of targets? It sounds like you're still building out more targets, but with 5 targets pretty much drill ready, except for the ones that don't have permitting. Where are you going to go after? What becomes a higher priority for the company?
Well, I think clearly the highest priority is Big Vein, where we're still, we've drilled over 520 meters, and we're still open. So we need to continue doing that. After that, it's really about looking at the occurrences that we do have. Like I mentioned, some of the ones that we've drilled at Midway and Pristine, we'll certainly go back and do some targeting there. But we'll probably have one drill that will be following up new targets, and I think that's sort of our strategy. It has been our strategy, is that we'll have dedicated drills at Big Vein, at least 2. We'll probably have another drilling Midway and Pristine once we get those drills permitted, and we'll have one more looking at new targets. So I think, it's a nice problem to have to try and prioritize all these targets, but I think we've got a lot of targets that are lying along this Appleton Fault Zone, and I think we can get a pretty good idea of the potential of many of those targets within this 42,000 meters that we have left of the drill program.
Well, Roger, I realize a lot of those targets are brand new and it's still very early days. But as far as the big vein where a lot of the drilling has been focused and you have hit repeatedly, at the end of this program, are you looking towards maybe sewing it together into an early resource estimate, or do you think you'd like to get another drill program or two on big vein before you start putting some resources around it?
Yeah, I think we'll see how it works out going forward. I mean, to be honest, there's so much left to explore along the Appleton Fault Zone that to focus on getting a resource out may be a little bit premature, even after we finish the 100,000-meter drill program. So yeah, I think that'll be a decision to be made once we finish the program and where we're at in terms of testing the other targets along the Appleton Fault Zone.
So, Roger, in terms of cash, then, I know the company is well cashed up, but give us a little bit of clarity in terms of how much cash is in the bank and how much more the remaining drill program is going to cost at 42,000 meters, please.
Yeah, we're looking in the bank right now. We have about 21 million. The remaining drilling will probably cost about 10 to 12 million. So we've got lots of cash for our planned drilling, and with lots left over to continue. If we continue to have the success that we have seen over the last year or so.
Well, Roger, I realize that most of the focus is going to be on drilling these new targets and the news from the ongoing drilling, but is there any specific news the company's going to be putting out throughout the end of the year that you really want investors focused on as it comes to light?
I think really just investors like to hear the drill results, of course, because that's really where the proof is in the pudding, as it were. We hear all the time that you can't make discoveries without drilling, and that's totally true. So that's still going to be the focus. But as I mentioned, there's so much work going on in the background. At some point we'll be putting out some news, wrapping all that together, and outlining our targets that will be included in this 42,000 meters drilling that remains to be done.
All right, Roger, we'll wrap it up here. I'll post a link to that news release so everyone can read over the most recent round of drill results. And we'll keep up to date as more drill results come to the market, as well as further targets. Still a lot of drilling to come out of this company, so if anybody has any follow-up questions that you want Roger to address, please email us. We will get him to address those, and we'll follow up on the back of some more news. Roger, thank you, as always, for your time. Please keep us up to date on future news.
Sure will, Cory. Thanks again.